Welcome to Berlin. It's a front row lockout for DS Hyperdrive with Ocampo on pole from Revo and Bogdasarov. Then it's Romy Lebeau in fourth from Tonali Gabo and Lawless Leclerc. Elliot Deli's up in seventh position from Jonathan Sims, last time out race winner, and Charles Hernandez. Then it's championship leader Ewa Puff from Linus Eriksson and Oscar Falstad. Scotland Rotak is 13th from UK Ball and the Red Devil. Then it's Marcus Nelson, Devin Butler, Salos Kynes, there's Theo from Akari Lopez, Francis Austin, and Awful Catfish. A front row lockout for DS Hyperdrive and all Frenchmen behind. It's the ERL in Berlin. And we go green. Great start there from the pole sitter Sebastian Ocampo. Gonna need that if he's to stay in front of his teammate going through this opening sector. Look at that from Revo, holding it alongside Sebastian as they come through turn number 2, and he'll have the inside line, and he will take the lead. Marcus Nelson down in 13th position. He's been given a time penalty for colliding with, we believe, his teammate. Bogdasarov is currently going side by side with Revo. Down into turn number 4. Goes down the inside, forces him off the track, but takes the lead without touching the wall. Look at that in the mid-pack. Debris flying, and that's first Theo with a time penalty. But Revo still leads this race. Ocampo trying to get in front of his first teammate, Daniel Bogdasarov, and does. Sends it down the inside as Devin Butler's been given a time penalty for causing a collision. But the Hyperdrive 1-2 is back in operation, but it's swapped around. The four-time Formula E champion Revo leads the pack from Ocampo and Daniel Bogdasarov as they begin the second lap of 16 here in Berlin. Look at that, that's one of the Jaguars. That is Ewa Puff, who's been given a time penalty for hitting his championship rival. Devin Butler's been also given a time penalty, but as Ewa Puff is driving like a man on a mission, he's been given a time penalty. He'll drop behind Romy Lebeau. He entered this race with a 9-point margin to the Frenchman as here comes Ocampo. Collides with Revo but takes the lead without forcing his teammate into the wall. They are not keeping it very clean. It's very evident between these two. They are not too well. We haven't really made up since season 20 in the way that championship ended for Ocampo. That easily could have been his third championship, his second on the bounce, but just wasn't to be. Romy Lebeau's dropped down to 8th position and is just about half a second in front of his teammate. Doesn't need that if he's to try and take the lead of the championship from Ewa Puff. Currently for Romy Lebeau to take the lead, he needs to be 5th with Ewa Puff 10th or worse. That sounds possible, especially seeing what happened last time out, but must have been a lot easier to have gotten that win, so he's definitely not happy with the strategy he was given last time out. Here comes Ocampo with attack mode. Goes alongside with Revo, and before they even make it to the breaking point, he's in front. Bogdasarov now in the slipstream, and the Red Devil's been given a time penalty way further back off the track, and a front wing bent out of shape for the 99. Cautions out, and it's a front puncture for Oscar Falstad. That explains it, because you rarely ever see drivers crash in a straight line. Ran into the back of the McLaren TGR driver, who's got a front wing defect there. Major front wing damage for both the Red Devil and Oscar Falstad, but for Falstad it's a front puncture too. That's even worse. He's now got to trundle around this lap with that, and he'll have to pit. Definitely would have wanted a full course caution to at least soften the blow, because at least then everyone would be going slowly. But now it's just Falstad. He is not going to be too chuffed with this at all, and not going to be happy with his team for sending him out with a time that was about to blow. Bogdasarov using attack mode into 4, goes off the track but takes seconds away from Revo. Either way, the top 3 is still just Ocampo's teammates. As you can see, the Italian trying to go. Oh! 5-second time penalty! Bogdasarov's in the wall, and oh, he's hit Leclerc. Leclerc's in the barriers too. He's got damage. Bogdasarov drops down the order, and oh, he's out of this race. Akari collects. Bogdasarov, full course caution has been called. 5-second time penalty for Akari Lopez. That's a big one. Mamma mia. Puff is now up into the top 3. No damage for Leclerc, but Ericsson in 6th position. He's made a monster of a start. He's been given a time penalty as into the pits comes Tonali Gabo. Gabo pits at the end of 4. Hard tires going on. They are trying to do the ultimate extend. We're seeing an influx of drivers coming into the pits here. Catfish has moved up from the very back of the pack up into 12th position through all of that chaos. And Akari drops down to 15th with that damage. At the very least for Revo, he's not going to have to worry for too much longer, but for Remy LeBeau, this is his championship challenges going past him in a blink of an eye. He's got no attack mode and he's dropped from 5th down to... Oh my goodness, Versio! What a lunge! That was the latest late break that ever late braked. And he's now up into 6th. He's still got that time penalty though, so I don't know if this will be the race where he finally ends that pointless drought. But you know, last season we saw an odd driver to be pointless by the end of the season, that being Oscar Falstad. This season it might be Brazil's Versio, and we hope it isn't. 10 to go. It's still a Hyperdrive 1-2, and I'm pretty sure they're going to pull in Revo first. Despite him being the one going for the championship, they might have to pit him earlier just to deal with that time penalty. Maybe they'll wait for another caution, because it is feasible that one of these drivers in the mid-pack makes a major mistake and blows up before they make it back. There goes Versio up into 4th. How is he doing this? How is he finding grip with those absolutely short tyres? Ocampo's definitely not finding grip. He's lost 1.5 seconds to his own teammate over that span of a half lap. So how's Versio dropped down to 5th? Well, probably due to the lack of grip, but still, it's wild to think that he's making these moves and keeping it on the track. Revo is the first of the 2 hyperdrives to come in. Puff is also into the pits, and Ericsson, UK Ball, Leclerc, all into pit row. It's Ocampo who leads the pack, 10 seconds in front of Versio and Jonathan Sims. Then it's Rosak and Remy LeBeau make that Rosak and Hernandez fighting over 4th position. It's a 5-way fight between Rosak, Sims, Hernandez, Remy LeBeau and awful Catfish, who's making the best of a truly awful qualifying. Marcus Nelson has just set a 1:0.016. We're about to enter that sub 1 minute lap time around here, and it's going to take some very quick drivers with very fresh tyres. As you can see, Salas Kynes there in 8th position in front of Butler. Look at how much weaving these guys are doing, just trying to keep it on the track. It's unbelievable. Here comes Catfish looking for the move on Charles Hernandez. Looks to the outside, can't quite hold it, so he'll have to stay in line. But Sebastian Ocampo's come in. Versio is also in. Sims is in. Skatalin Rosak of Mahindra Racing from Sweden, of Switzerland rather. He leads the pack from Remy LeBeau and Charles Hernandez. Ocampo, he re-emerges. I think he might be behind his teammate, believe it or not. He's re-emerged in this race, and he is 7th. 7th in the running order for Sebastian Ocampo. That's currently a net P2, as Remy LeBeau now takes the lead. Elliot Deli, oh there you go, he's been passed by Ocampo, and so is Salas Kynes, but Deli was running up in 6th position. That was the net lead of this race, as now Deli getting past Salas. Revo on the back of his countryman Tonali Gabo once again. Last time out when these two were on the front row, they made sure mutually that neither of them were going to score points. They probably wanted to take each other on a date to the moon, but still definitely not the best idea to have those two out on track together. The top 4 all into the pits. Ocampo leads again on lap 9 of 16. Elliot Deli is 2nd from Gabo and Revo, who's trying to fight off Puff, but can't fight him off hard enough. There goes the 9 from Scotland up into 4th, but for only about a braking distance because Revo's back up into 4th now, and he's looking for the move on Gabo, but here comes Path. Gets alongside Revo, up into 4th, gets alongside Gabo, and before the breaking point, he's up into 3rd. That's the championship leader for you. Definitely using attack mode to the most of its usefulness. And Revo now trying to look for a similar move. He's got those hard tyres on, which, if you're not aware already, they are not as quick as the softs that Puff was on, and it's also the same tyre that Gabo was on. Well, he's on them, as he now is alongside with Revo. Side-by-side action between these two once again. On board with that 7 car as Ocampo begins lap 10 of 16. Further down the order, we've got Theo dueling with Catfish and Cable, the two Power Motorsport drivers trying to hold on to that last points paying position. On board we go with Theo, and I don't think he's gonna get it. I don't think he's close enough. Those two Power Motorsport men definitely going to be dueling over position by themselves for a while, as Volstad pits for the 2nd time in this race. Could easily be a 2-stop if drivers haven't managed their tyres and if they haven't used the hard tyres. We think that Revo, Gabo, Leclerc, well, actually no, Revo and Leclerc and Theo, Cable, Ericsson, they should be good to the end. They should be good to the end if their teams really want to extend for the 1-stop, as Austin gets a time penalty, collides with the back of Marcus Nelson, and Marcus is racing royalty in my opinion. I mean, first 7 seasons of his career can barely get a season tally of points more than 10. Season 8 comes around and somehow he gets his first pole and race win, as in comes Elliot Dele. And then in season 9, he and Mahindra just pulls a blinder and the championship from literally nowhere. And really for Marcus, he's only really replicated that championship winning form in season 12, I think. Well, that's just my opinion. Someone else has got more stats than me. Here comes Sims, gets past Marcus Nelson. For Sims Motorsport, they're definitely thinking that they've got the wrong Sims car up in the top 6. They want Remy LeBeau up there, surely, for the championship lead. But at the same time, both of them are going for the championship. They're both less than a race win away from the championship leader, Puff. But exiting this race, considering that the Scotsman's up in 2nd, that's probably not going to be the case. We've only got a quarter of the race to go. 4 laps to the white flag here in Germany. And it's Sebastian Ocampo dominating this race, but his tyres definitely being dominated. Can they go for 8 more laps? Marcus Nelson's tyres have given up after 6, and so have Francis Austin's. So Gabo definitely going to be worrying about his tyre life. And you know what, for Revo and Leclerc and Ericsson, Cable, those guys are definitely going to be worrying as well. I think Theo is going to be the only one who could try and pull off the 1-stop. Here comes Jonathan Sims. There goes Jonathan Sims. Up into 4th position, does a tiny little track extend just for the heck of it. Gabo drops down to 6th position, and Sims chases down another Italian, this time of the name of Revo, the 4-time World Drivers' Champion, who his team fought against in season 22. And Ocampo stays out for lap 13. Most teams won't really think about pitting on lap 14, 15, or 16, mainly just because, you know, as we saw last time out, it's going to be very rare of you to get that tyre advantage working. But for Ocampo, he might be able to pull it off. I think he'll only drop down to about, well, 8th, which is around Remy LeBeau and Tenali Gabo, so we'll get attack mode at the very least. He should be able to make it back to the back of his teammate. Really, I think Hyperdrive right now are playing a game of chicken. They are waiting and seeing if Jaguar will pull Puff in as well. If they pull in Puff, then they'll pull in Ocampo. Revo will be leading, and more than that, Hyperdrive will be looking at the victory with the number 7 car, as we saw in Valencia, I believe. Ocampo makes his way through the final turn and he stays out. What about Tenali Gabo as Ocampo begins lap number 14 of 16? Does Puff pit? Puff stays out. Sorry, as to why I said, if Gabbo, I don't know why I did that, but Puff is staying out there. But Revo, Simpson, Leclerc, and Catfish, they're all into the pits. These guys are going for the 2-stop. I don't know why they are. That promotes Remy LeBeau up into 3rd, but make that Scatterlin Rossack up into 3rd. Brilliant job from the man from Switzerland, but that's short-lived, surely. He's not going to get attack mode into 4, and he does lose that podium position, but still, that's amazing, to be honest. Mahindra, they've been struggling all season long. In fact, they are last in the standings behind a team where only one driver has scored points, but that's likely to change in this race. And you know, Remy LeBeau, he's out there, he's weaving on through the turns. I think we could see Puff into the pits. And Elliot Deli, oh my goodness, he's off the track. Is that Verse Theo who's off too? He's got damage. Yes, it is Verse Theo. Oh, you cable into the back of Verse Theo's teammate Salos Kind. But now Deli's going to be dropping down. Verse Theo probably going to be dropping down with that lack of aerodynamic stability. Sims further back, 5-second time penalty. And we've got yellows in Sector 2. That is for the Red Devil, we believe? It is. He's got major front wing damage. His teammate is struggling with his tyres. Ocampo leads the pack, but he's struggling too. Will we see a major tyre blowout from the championship leader come this race's end? And there goes Elliot Deli up into 6th position. Tyre management in the ERL, it's not the easiest thing to do, but we could still see it play a massive role in this race. And heck, this championship, Puff's down to 14%. Nelson, 5-second time penalty, causes a collision with Elliot Deli, who still got that damage, and they haven't repaired that. That's a slow-moving Revo, but that's probably just because of where he is on track. Austin's dropping down the order too. We're on to the final lap of this race. Leclerc, oh, that's Verse Theo into the wall again. Leclerc's been given a time penalty. That's contact with Verse Theo, so he gets it righted again. 7% for Puff. Ocampo's at 15. The top 2 in this race, struggling for tyres. We think Ocampo's going to make it to the end. But will Puff? I don't know. I don't think 9 laps on those soft tyres is good. I mean, the Red Devil's struggling out there. 10% after just... There's 10 laps on his hards. He's trying to one-stop, and it hasn't worked. Here comes Ericsson. There goes Ericsson up into 14th position. This has been a tense final lap, but for Sebastian Ocampo, he's hit 4%, and a full car puncture for the championship leader. Ocampo wins in Berlin, but for Puff, he's been hit by Hernandez. Puff, full car puncture on the final lap here in Berlin. Hernandez gets it fired up again. And now, Remy LeBeau is going to be behind Scatterlin Rossack. Brilliant to be up in 2nd. Oh, big spin for Hernandez there. With all of that damage, Puff will come across the line in 4th position. That could have been 2nd, but it won't be 2nd. Oh my goodness. The tyres blew up for Puff at the very end of the race. When he needed them most, he just couldn't make the most of them. And you can see the damage for Verse Theo. Oh, full car puncture for Akari Lopez as well. He makes it through the final 10, and the Red Devils also got a full car puncture. 3 drivers tried extending with their tyres, and they all came out not. And you know, for Puff, he did some amazing time management with those softs. And it just still couldn't work out for him. Still couldn't work out. As we're on board with his teammate. Both Jaguars and Akari Lopez struggling with tyres at the end of this race. Somehow, Ericsson and Cable made it though. This is your podium. Sebastian Ocampo takes another win this season after victory in Saudi Arabia. And of all drivers to be 2nd, of all of them, it's Scatterlin Rossack of Switzerland. Unbelievable from Mahindra to get him onto the podium, but you know, they made the most of this opportunity and it worked out beautifully. Remy LeBeau coming home with 3rd, That helps him in his title challenge, as that will close the gap to Path by just a smidgen, but it might be the smidgen he needs. Behind the podium, there's the championship leader, Path, from Solos Kynes and Awful Catfish. Then it's Revo, Marcus Nelson, Jonathan Sims, and Francis Austin, your point scorers. Outside of the points, you've got Elliot Deli, Linus Eriksson, Tonali Gabo, Charles Hernandez, Folstad, Cable, Butler, Jaclerc versus Theo, Lopez, and the Red Devil, with Bogdasarov being the only non-scorer. In the driver's standings, that 9 still leads the way from Remy LeBeau and Revo, but now Remy, he's tantalizingly close, 6 points away, with Revo being in third, quite a ways away from just Remy LeBeau. He is 21 points back from the Frenchman and 27 away from Path. That's not a lead that absolutely can't be broken. It's just unlikely. Jonathan Sims is fourth from Tonali Gabo and Sebastian Ocampo. Then it's the Red Devil, Solos Kynes, Cable, and Oscar Folstad, currently the drivers making it into the Season 25 chase. Bogdasarov is 11th from Eriksson and Nelson. Then it's Catfish, Rossack, Jaclerc, Deli, Lopez, Austin, Butler, Hernandez, and there's Theo, who's still yet to score. In terms of the rookies, if anyone was interested, Linus Eriksson leads Devin Butler by, and it's not pretty this gap, 26 points. That's a race win in IndyCar, but in the Constructors' Championship heading into the 11th race of the season, Red Bull Sims Porsche, they lead the pack on 197 points from Panasonic Jaguar and DS Hyperdrive. Then it's Dragon Nissan, Power Motorsport, MS Amlin Andretti from Team Edams Renault, who are tied with McLaren TGR. Then Mercedes EQ, who once again, I'm going to keep reiterating this, they are leading Pinnacle Motorsport by 10 points, and Mahindra by quite a few points, and that's just Solos Kynes' results. That's either Solos Kynes is one of the greatest drivers in ERL history, which he is, or Verse Theo needs to leave the team, and I don't think the Brazilian's going to like that if that is the case. Pretty sure it is just Kynes absolutely mastering that Mercedes, but we will see you guys next time when the ERL returns.